Everyone, we are live. I'm just checking if I am live on LinkedIn. Bear with me. And this session is specially dedicated to Jess. Jess Harvey. So I'm just checking. Yes, I am audible. So welcome everyone. This session, ReFrench Your Brain, is specifically, specially dedicated to Jess Harvey, and I was making an acronym for honoring her. And I was thinking, as I had 5 days to wrap up, I was using 5 letters. So her name is Jess, G-E-S-S, J-E-S-S, sorry. And I will let you know why I confund always the J and the G. But right now I'm going to honor her for a few seconds yet, because she was pivotal in my life and in many other lives. And I will show her cover a bit later. So welcome everyone. Welcome for the live audience and welcome for the replay team. This is ReFrench Your Brain, the edition of the 2nd, the 3rd, the 4th, and the 5th, and the 6th. So we are covering 5 days in a row. So it will be packed. And usually I was thinking to make it in 60 minutes, but this time I think I'm going to make it in 45 minutes because I would like to make it quick. But at the same time, I'm honoring anyone who would like to jump on stage. So I'm just going right now to send the link to the LinkedIn event so that you are able to jump on stage at any time if you like. So here is the comment for jumping on stage. Voila, I posted the comment. So now I can close my LinkedIn and focus on the session. Thank you again for attending this special event dedicated to Jess Harvey. And I'm going now to fade the music to focus on the 5th edition. So bear with me because I'm just preparing that and I'm just checking if I can have the details. As always, I'm struggling live, but I am ready to be useful to you. So I'm going right now to add caption so that you are able to see what's in the program. So first, the 2nd of August, it's about je, because it's J-E-S-S-S, so that I have 5 words, because there is 5 days, so I put a 3rd S. So the 2nd of August is about je. The 3rd of August is about U. And yes, EU is from the verb, a form from the verb être. No. From the verb avoir. I'm sorry, it's late, it's chocolate. So the U is from the verb avoir. A form from the verb avoir. Then the fourth is S and is. There are many words, so I'm going to be quick. But the fourth is about C, SI, and there are many homonyms. Really, the sound are the same, but the spelling are not the same, and the meaning is not the same. Then, the fifth, so it was yesterday, because I'm late. The fifth is also S, and is about Soit. It's about Soit, and it could be pronounced Soit or Soit, but it depends. It depends very, very, voilà. And then, the last but not least, the 6th of July, of August. My friends, I'm really, my brain is really high. So the 6th of August, of course, it's today. There is the last S, and is between about the word sur, and there is an homonym, and it's about sur versus sur. And it's the same pronunciation, but not the same spelling and not the same meaning. So here, I'm going to begin with je versus je. So you notice already the difference between the two. And I'm going to explain why. Because JEU and JE are not the same, are not pronounced the same, but at some points a bit. Je. It's really important to make the understanding. So I'm going to je, because it's about to play. Je, J-E-U, is play. A game, in fact. A play, a game. So I'm going to share my screen so that I have the dictionary out there. And of course, it's many languages, but I'm going to focus on French. Not Franco-Provençal, please. French, voilà. And at any time, feel free to ask your questions, and at any time, feel free to jump on stage also, because it's about interaction. So let me know in your comments. And I don't expect anyone live, but it's okay. Thank you for the replay team anyway. So je is from the Latin jocus, which is a joke. Yeah, you know, it's from jocus, Latin, so joke, the same, like a plaisanterie. Or and it's like I joke. So jocus, joke, le jeu. So it's divertissement. And by the way, divertissement, what is divertissement in English? It is entertainment, that's it. Entertainment activity with rules, could be played alone or in group for having fun. So un jeu. By extension, the act of play, of have fun. By extension, the interpretation of a role by an actor and it's in the theater or in the movie, the cinema. And music also. So there are many spelling, and I'm not going to the details because it's a 5 session. Feel free to join to check on Wikipedia, but there are many, of course, words about that. But it's more about the difference between je and je. Je, it's J-E, and in French, because there are many languages, please, in French, yeah, it's a personal pronoun, the first, and it's the equivalent of I. So, je suis en France, I am in France. Je. And so you don't say je suis en France because it's a je is play. So you say je. And then you notice also an interesting thing aside the vocal or aside the H, the je, the E is removed. So j'habite, j'organise. You don't say je habite or je organise. Huh? You say j'habite, j'organise for pronunciation purpose, by the way. So, and then there are also like things to, but it's familiar. It's really in the familiarity to remove the E is to be more personal, familiar, and I don't suggest that. Like, hey, je te cause. Like, hey, I speak to you. It's like as if I say, hey, speak to you. So it's like, je te. So it's really, it's not je te cause, it's je te. Or, je prendrais bien un petit verre, et toi? I will take a little drink, and you? So, I'll take. Je te prendrai, je prendrai bien. Instead of je prendrai bien. So, it's really the shortcut for familiarity, and I don't recommend that, but at the same time, it's good to know that exists. And of course, there are a lot of things to say about je. It's the I in English. So there are many explanations, and it's for that I'm going now to focus on pronunciation. So je,
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 voilà. And then you notice the pronunciation about je, which is totally different, by the way. So of course there are many things. So the pronunciation is
un je,
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 je, je.
je, je.
So at some point it's a bit like difficult to notice the difference between the two, but it's important for a good practice to notice the difference is subtle but is present. Je versus je. Je. So that's it for the je. I'm going right now to switch directly to the second one. And the second one for the 3rd of August is between EU versus Bleu. So EU, it's U because it's the form of a verb être. And here you see in French, of course, it's from, of course, that's not so much common. So I'm going to pass on that, but it's not a noun because we never say e. We say euro, by the way, because it's like it says that it's a contraction from euro, but it's really non-common. So it's more like a form of a verb, and it's the past participle of the verb avoir. Alors, tu l'as eu? And so it's really from the verb avoir, and the pronunciation is
U.
U. U.
U.
U. U.
Voilà, U. And it's really important because it's also the pronunciation of the letter U in French. R-S-T-U-V. R-S-T-U-V. So it's not U, it's not U. The letter is U. And so the sound EU is the sound of the letter U. EU, U. And that's quite special because there are other words containing EU, but in that case, it's pronounced E. And that's really important and interesting. It's like the letter E, but more like E. And by instance, there is bleu, which is a color in French. And the pronunciation for bleu, if I may, because there are many things for bleu. And the pronunciation is
Du bleu.
Un bleu.
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 Voilà, bleu. And so EU, only that, it's the verb avoir in the past participle, and it's eu. Je t'ai eu. And any sound with EU in a word like bleu, mieux, then it's E. And it's like deux, one, two, un, deux. So deux is the same. There is also E, EUX, which is in fact a personal pronoun. And EUX is E. So it's really important to make the distinction between EU only, which is U, and EUX or BLEU or DEUX. So there are words containing EU, but then the sound is E, bleu, de, mieux, peu, PEU, peu. So that's really important, and I would like to insist about that. And then we are now in the 4th of August, which is a special day because the 4th of August is the birthday of my granddad, who will have been 102 years old. He's not anymore alive. And the words I'm going to focus on the 4th of August are si. Si. And there are two meanings about SI, and then there is SIS and SIX. And SIS is C, because the S is silent. If it's because it's an adjective or a form of a past participle from the verb soir, which is SEOIR, by the way. But if it's in feminine, it's sees, SISE, sees, and then you pronounce the S like Z, sees. And then SIX, it's either C, if it's there is a consonant like je veux 6 tables, je veux 6 chaises, or if it's the letter itself, or the letter, the number itself, or the number with vocal or an H, then it's six also, like 6 œufs. Je veux 6 œufs. Je veux 6 tables. Je veux 6 œufs. Je veux, je regarde 6 hôtels. So it's H-O-T-E-L-S, by the way. So it's really important, and that's for the SIS and the SIX. Now I'm going to focus more on the SI, because SI is si, and in French, many languages, by the way, it don't exist in English, by the way, but there are two different meanings in French, and either it's a conjunction, more like conditional. So in the condition, suppose that, and so it introduces a condition. By instance, je vous donnerai tant si vous faites ce que vous m'avez promis. That means I will give you blah, blah, if you do what you promised me to do that. So it's like a condition. Si. Like, si j'étais riche, je m'achèterais une maison. If I was rich, I would buy me a house. And so it's a condition, a conjunction of condition. But then the second meaning is, I'm going to that, it's an adverb. And it's like absolutely, or at the contrary, or as such, so much. Si étroit, like so straight. Like another example, si fort, so strong, tellement. And in that, the English is like so. But then there is also vous n'allez pas voir ce spectacle? Si, nous y allons. And in that case, si is oui. But it's a oui to confirm something. So you can say oui, nous y allons. But in that case, you say si, indeed. In fact, it's yes, and it means also indeed. And so it's really important to notice that. That's for the 4th of August. Now we are going into the 5th of August. I know I'm going too quick, but it's like 5 sessions in a row, and I'm going now to pack it, as I don't have any comments right now or any person on stage. So I'm going to wrap up that quickly. So we have now the 5th of August, which is Soit. It could be also Soit. So there are multiple pronunciations. So I'm going to focus first with the Soit, which is either. Like, I'm going now to go more like conjunction. That means or. It's two alternatives or more. Like, on a donné plusieurs formules d'allunage, soit à l'être de... it's too complex. It's like, soit qu'on vogue au large, soit qu'on pénètre dans les fonds tortueux. So, either. In the English, the meaning is either or. It's like two alternatives. So, and that it's soit. And at some cases, you pronounce soit. Soit je vais là, soit je vais ici. So it's a bit tricky, I know, but it's good to know that sometimes you are hearing soit, and sometimes you are hearing soit. But then there is the form of the verb. The form of the verb, third person of the singular of in the present subjunctive of être. Like, quel dommage qu'il soit. Et donc, se prononcer soit. Quel dommage qu'il soit pas là. And there, que le nombre important de naissances illégitimes soit une marque d'immoralité. And in that case, it's because there is a link between the T and the U. Because soit là. So in that case, it's because there is the vocal. And that's tricky, I know, but it's me in a nutshell explaining the different forms of SOIT. And then there is also, bear with me, there is also SOI, which is a pronoun, and I'm going to dive more. In French, a personal pronoun that is a reflexive pronoun on the third person of singular or plural. For instance, l'hôtel particulier était à soi seul un sacré capital. And the synonym à lui seul, for it alone. So in English, the translation is oneself. And that's Soit, SOI. And the synonym is lui, elle, eux, elle, depending if it's the singular or the plural, and the masculine and the feminine. Then here there is no, that's not so much use. So that's it for SOI, by the way. And we are on the 5th of August right now. And the last word on the 5th of August is Soit, SOIE. And in that case, is about clothing, or it's an element for the spider, like Soie from the Latin saeta, Soie, but like it's really not so much known, by the way. And in Latin, seta. In zoology, material with cords produced by the spiders or the caterpillars. So for some insect. And by extension, it's a textile fiber textile. So it's about the clothing. So it could be like from animals, but most of the time it's like it could be also the hairs of some animal. And by the artificial soie artificielle, which is there is no translation in English, by the way, but soie in English could be silk, could be tang, but it's not so much used tang, by the way. So it's silk. And so yeah, and it's more like for the cloth, like so it's silk. That's soie. And so SOI, SOIE is pronounced the same, soie, but you need the context, because if I say to you soie, then you don't know what if I talk about the silk or if I talk about oneself. So that's why it's really important to add in the context. So that was for the 5th of August. I don't see any comments, so I'm going to move forward. And for the last day, last but not least, and thank you for the replay team, you will have a shorter session, a session of 35, 40 minutes or so. And so for the 5th session, the 5th session, the 6th of August, I will focus about sur and sur. So that's why the circumflex accent is still used. In the new spelling, it's not obligatory, it's not mandatory to use anymore the circumflex accent, although it's good to use it, except when there are confusion possible. And so it's the same with cru and cru, from the verb croire or croître, mur and mur, from like the whole are ready to be picked, like a fruit. And it's the same with sûr and sûr. Mention sûr in French, por favor. It is a preposition. So it's either a position more elevated or something more superior, a direction, a position in the time, in the instant, or the origin, the base, or anything on something that was that is after, like je me suis basé sur veut dire on your speak. Then it could be also relative to dimension. So there is a lot of things, by the way, about sur. And there are many translations, by the way. So in English, they are on, upon, onto, over, out of, and could be also on. So that's it. But the adjective also. The adjective is which has a taste really acid, like aigre, like bitter. And by instance, ça sentait les pommes sûres. And that means the apple were bitter. And then in chemistry, but it's not so much used. And in that case, in English, it means sour. And the pronunciation of sûr is
Sûr.
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 Sour.
and I really don't recommend that, by the way, because it's sûr.
Sûr.
Voilà. Because sometimes the pronunciation are not really accurate. And then there is SUR, but with the circumflex accent, and it's really important in that case to distinguish the two, because SUR with the circumflex accent from sûr with being safe, in security, from the Latin securus, free of worry. And so it's the adjective that is not doubtful, like undoubtful. So that's certain, that's undubitable, that's true, that's sure, for sure. So in English, the translation are, of course, certain, sure, safe, harmless, benign, secure, reliable, trustworthy, dependable. And that's the adjective. So there are many different meanings. So something that we can trust. It's really important. And we can talk about a person. So someone who has no doubt, who is having assurance, who is confident. Like sûr de lui-même. Il est sûr de lui-même. He is really confident. And then sûr with a verb, it's like sûr que. Pierre est sûr que. Voilà. And it could be followed by a verb. By any means. And so I'm going to close right now the session, for sure, avec plaisir. I don't see any comments, so feel free if you are in the replay team to comment. I'm going to, for sure, take my chocolate for celebrate Jess also. Oh, that's the big one. Okay. That's a big one, by the way. So, going to share my screen right now. And to hide this. So, I wish it was helpful. So for the recap, for the 2nd of August, because I'm late, I'm chocolate, but I'm happy to wrap up. The 2nd of August, I was talking about the difference between je, which is game, and je, which is I. And at some point, some people will pronounce je, but I really advise you to pronounce je, to really make the distinction between je, which is the game, and je, which is I. Then on the 3rd of August, I was talking about the difference between u, eu, it's a form of a verb, je t'ai eu, I got you. And so, and then any word that is containing like eu, with consonants before or after, like bleu, de. So eu in that case it's it's not u, and that's really important to notice the difference. Then on the 4th of August, I was talking about the difference between C and C, and then SIS and SIX, which could be pronounced differently, like 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then there is 6, so 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, SIS, like 6. And then the number with the vocal or the H, z, like really important. And by the way, is a really special word because it's O-E-U-F-S, and in the singular, O-E-U-F, it's F. So that's a special word by the way. I love to give nuggets. And that's excellent. I love to play with excellent. And so cis, C, and C could be the conditional or could be tu vas, like for affirming, like it's the equivalent of S, of yes. And then on the 5th of August, I was telling about the difference between Soit and Soie. And feel free to go back because I'm not going to the details because it's so, I've got already told about the differences. And then on the 6th of August, last but not least, I was making the difference between sur and sur, which are pronouncing the same, which are quite written the same, except that the second one has the circumflex accent. It's really important to bring the circumflex accent because it could be SUR without, and it's like on top of, or the fruit that is bitter. Or it could be SUR with the circumflex accent, sur, and in that case, it's like certain, for sure. And that's really important. Because if I tell you sur, you don't know if I talk about the any of the two combinations, by the way. So the spelling, the accents are really important to use. They are there. It's for a reason. And at some point in the new spelling, there are many words with the circumflex accent that lost their accent. But for sure, this one, SUR, like MUR, like CRU, and probably others, it's important, absolutely important to bring the circumflex accent when necessary, because else you are confounding. So that's it for today. I'm going now to bring the last 5 minutes. As it's a special session, I would like to honor Jess. To really honor Jess, I'm going to share my screen because I would like to pay her a huge tribute and breathing, because she was important for many, and for me too. I will always hold in my heart the space that I gave to her 18 days ago on my Holy Present session. And truly, she changed my life. Even during our short audio conversations in the previous month, and during the audio room that I hold her space, she really changed my life. And it's so sad. I'm really impacted about her passing. Let me no. I'm going to minimize myself. You don't need to watch me. So Jess, thank you so much for bringing the light to others, and you will always be within my heart, always. And you will always be within many, many hearts. So last but not least, I'm going to share something vulnerable. I'm going to share a voice message, like a non-pronunciation.
Jessica or Jess Harvey?
And then I'm going to share her last message to me.
Oh, thank you, Ollie. Good night. And I am very excited about this, to be working with you on this event, and looking forward to chatting soon. Again, good night or good morning.
So that's it, my friends. It's really vulnerable what I share. And my friends, keep checking in on each other's. Keep checking in, keep sending love to each other's, because we never know what's going through a person's life. And she will have forever this deep place in my heart. So with that, I'm going to close the room, and thank you so much for the replay team. I don't think there was anyone watching live, but anyway, I'm doing my thing by any means, and I will continue. So with that, thank you so much, and I will end with the picture of Jess that will really miss to us, to us all. Keep shining no matter what.